For decades, Boeing was a symbol of American engineering, leading the aerospace industry with innovations that revolutionized air transport. However, in recent years, Boeing has experienced a series of events that have jeopardized its reputation, financial stability, and future. Will it manage to recover and take flight again, or are we witnessing the end of this iconic company? Let's begin. Although the company's decline has accelerated in recent years, many people, both experts and aviation enthusiasts, point out that the beginning of the problems can be traced back to Boeing's acquisition of McDonnell Douglas in 1997. Initially viewed as a strategic move to strengthen its position in the aerospace industry, it turned out to be a turning point with profound and lasting consequences. Although the resulting company bore Boeing's name, it was McDonnell Douglas culture and strategy that ended up prevailing, causing a significant transformation in Boeing's business philosophy. This change marked the beginning of a more aggressive approach to cost reduction and updating existing models, rather than continuing Boeing's decades-long tradition of innovation. The merger brought not only a clash of corporate cultures but also the loss of Boeing's identity as a leader in advanced engineering, leading the company down a path that, years later, would culminate in an unprecedented crisis. This strategic reorientation, driven by McDonnell Douglas' influence, highlighted the internal tensions and dissonance between Boeing's old practices and the new direction focused on short-term gains and immediate profitability, hinting at the inherent difficulties in integrating two giants with such divergent philosophies. On one side, Boeing engineers seeking satisfaction in offering the best machines they could create, against Douglas executives seeking to maximize their profits. The first devastating blow came between 2018 and 2019, when two 737 MAX planes, one from Lion Air and another from Ethiopian Airlines, crashed in accidents that claimed the lives of 346 people. The investigation revealed a critical flaw in the MCOS system, software that Boeing had implemented to correct the plane's angle of attack. What aggravated the situation was the discovery that Boeing had not only concealed the risks of the MCOS system from airlines and pilots but also from the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, during the certification process. If you're interested in obtaining more technical information about the causes and systems involved in these accidents, we invite you to watch this video from the Ringa Tech channel. We'll leave the link in the description of this video. This scandal resulted in the global grounding of the 737 MAX fleet, the first time in history that a modern aircraft model was grounded worldwide. Boeing was forced to halt production and work on a solution while facing unprecedented scrutiny from regulators, governments, and the general public. In an attempt to resolve this crisis, Boeing reached an agreement with the Department of Justice in 2021. As part of the agreement, the company paid a criminal fine of just $243.6 million and committed to improving its safety practices and internal controls, an action that caused great outrage among the general public and particularly among the families of the victims, who considered the measure insufficient. However, Boeing's commitment was inadequate. In 2024, the Department of Justice determined that Boeing had not adequately complied with the terms of the agreement, which led the company to plead guilty to criminal conspiracy. As a result, Boeing faced a new fine of up to $487.2 million and the imposition of a corporate monitor to oversee its operations during a probationary period. While Boeing was dealing with these legal and financial consequences, another crisis hit in January 2024. A fuselage panel of a 737 MAX 9 detached in mid-flight during an Alaska Airlines takeoff. Although there were no casualties, the incident unleashed a new wave of distrust in Boeing's safety. Regulators ordered the temporary suspension of MAX 9 planes, and Boeing was forced to further slow down its production to address quality issues in its factories. This slowdown in production had a severe financial impact. During the first quarter of 2024, Boeing spent $3.93 billion in cash, a smaller outflow than analysts expected, but still significant. The company recorded an adjusted loss per share of $1.13 and revenues of $16.57 billion, figures that reflect the effects of production problems and the uncertainty surrounding its aircraft models. Boeing CEO, Dave Calhoun, acknowledged in an internal memo that the company was going through one of its most difficult moments. Calhoun, who was already scheduled to step down at the end of the year and will be replaced by Kelly Ortberg starting August 8, emphasized that safety and quality should be the absolute priorities. Under his leadership, Boeing implemented a series of measures to improve production quality, encouraging employees to identify and report defects in the process. Despite these efforts, Boeing's situation did not improve enough to prevent the loss of confidence from its customers. United Airlines, one of Boeing's largest operators, decided in 2024 to temporarily suspend the construction of the 737 MAX 10 it had ordered, opting to change its order to the smaller MAX 9 variant and explore options with European rival Airbus. This decision reflected United's frustration with the continuous delays in the MAX 10 certification, a process that had been prolonged indefinitely due to problems in Boeing's factories and increased regulatory scrutiny. United CEO, Scott Kirby, was particularly critical of Boeing, pointing out that the company needed to make profound changes and proceed with caution to avoid more long-term problems. Kirby acknowledged that he preferred Boeing to take the necessary time to correct its problems, even if that meant delays in deliveries, rather than rushing production and risking new failures. In fact, Boeing has already begun to reverse several of those actions that led it to maximize profits at the expense of its reliability, a clear example being the acquisition of Spirit AeroSystems, its main fuselage supplier, from which it will also have to absorb significant debt as part of the transaction. A clear demonstration of the desperation to regain control of its supply chain and eliminate the serious quality problems that its units have presented. This acquisition will be made for a total of $4.7 billion. Amidst this climate of uncertainty, Boeing finally received some good news. Akasa Air, a young Indian airline, placed an order for 150 737 MAX aircraft, including the MAX 10 and MAX 8-200 variants. This agreement represented a respite for Boeing, as Akasa is one of the fastest-growing airlines in India, a market in full expansion. With this order, Akasa's aircraft portfolio will rise to 226 units, reinforcing its ambitious expansion plans both domestically and internationally. However, even this positive agreement was marked by the shadow of Boeing's recent problems. Akasa's order did not include the MAX 9 variant, involved in the Alaska Airlines incident, and passengers in India expressed their concern on social media about flying on any variant of the 737 MAX, recalling previous accidents and the model's poor safety reputation. Despite the difficulties, Akasa stated that its decision to continue with the 737 MAX demonstrated the airline's financial strength and its confidence in Boeing's ability to overcome its problems. Akasa, which currently operates a fleet of 22 MAX aircraft and flies to 18 cities in India, has plans to expand its network to international destinations, such as Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Regarding Boeing's future, the company faces a path full of challenges. Its recovery depends on its ability to restore confidence in the safety of its aircraft, meet rigorous regulatory standards, and resolve quality issues in its production. Additionally, the company will need to demonstrate that it can adapt to new market demands, where Airbus, its main competitor, has gained ground. Boeing's stock has fallen more than a third since the beginning of the year, being the worst performer in the Dow Jones Industrial Index. With new leadership on the horizon and stricter oversight, Boeing's future is uncertain. Some analysts believe the company will need more than a decade to regain its position in the industry, while others doubt whether it can ever return to being the leader it once was. What is clear is that Boeing must reinvent itself to survive. It's no longer just a matter of repairing planes and delivering orders, it's a matter of regaining the trust of its customers, regulators, and the general public. Only time will tell if Boeing can rise from this crisis and reclaim its place at the top of the aerospace industry, or if this series of events will mark the beginning of an irreversible decline for the American giant. What do you think? Are we witnessing the imminent fall of the aeronautics giant, or does it still have a chance to resurge and take flight? If you liked or found the video helpful, give it a like, or if you prefer, subscribe. We upload videos weekly. Until next time.